Everything you do nowadays seems to be tracked and used against you. Each update you make, status you change, dollar you spend, it's all collected, documented, and sold. In fact, this is how most marketing organizations understand your exact consumer profile and can serve up ads based on your specific wants, needs, and desires. Have you ever been talking to a friend about a cool new gadget when all of a sudden an hour later it pops up on your Instagram feed, tempting you to make a purchase? And if you think about it, if you own an Amazon Alexa or a Google Home, just think about all the smart devices you've connected to make your life more efficient.
Alexa, raise the bed.
My Alexa knows more about me than my own girlfriend does. From my music choice to the exact degree I like it in the house before I go to bed, Alexa knows way more information than I even know about myself. Have you ever noticed that your Alexa has been activated without you even saying the trigger word? The scariest part of all of it is that Alexa actually records everything you do or say. Now, Amazon has come out and say that they use that information to better their products and they don't sell it to an outside source, but this is a Facebook quote that we see far too often. With all this information about you online, what groups you're in, interests you have, purchase history you've made, you stand no chance to the modern day marketer's world. It's estimated that an average person sees over 5,000 ads per day. With a conversion rate of just 0.1%, you'd be making 50 purchases every single day based off of ads alone.
How the hell did you know that I needed a Roomba? Oh my gosh.
With all the personalization, the customization that these advertisement agencies can put around their ads, you almost stand no chance when it comes to making purchases. And for that reason, I actively choose to live paycheck to paycheck. So when I say I live paycheck to paycheck, you probably think I'm struggling to make ends meet. But I want to change the way that you think about money management. When I say I live paycheck to paycheck, I simply mean that every dollar I earn is put to use. Now, I'm paid bi-monthly, which means I'm getting 2 paychecks a month. And whenever I receive those paychecks, I quickly sign into my bank account so I can allocate the funds. This is where budgeting has really changed my life for the better. Without this budget, I'd be spending money willy-nilly on all of these random items. But because every single dollar is put to use, it's very hard for me to find any money to spend on excess items. Not to mention, many of the purchases we think are cool or gonna better our lives just simply don't. One of the most expensive items I bought in 2020 was a fancy espresso machine. I used it twice. Now, I'm not saying that I don't spend money on new things anymore. Last week, I bought a brand new camera. I'm just saying that I have a newfound appreciation for the process that goes into each purchase. I've become a more patient person and delayed gratification around the purchases that I've made. I try to buy the most necessary items, but sometimes I lose track. I've talked about it in other videos, but I've implemented what I like to call the 3-day rule, where I put items I think that I want into my cart online. If I feel like I still want them 3 days later, I'm going to follow through with that purchase. 90% of the time, I talk myself out of buying. Another task I've been actively working on is to achieve steps towards minimalism, decluttering the items I have, selling or donating the things I don't use, and what I've noticed is a drastic increase in my mental health. There's nothing better than having a clean living space and a clean mind. One thing that really changed this whole process of spending money for me was understanding more about the time value of money and how investing actually changes the future value of your money. So for example, if you invested $1 today, instead of spending it, that $1 in about 50 years would be worth somewhere around $30. Now that's taking into account inflation and a very conservative return from the stock market. So take that $1 and invest it every single year for the next 50 years, that's going to turn into somewhere around $420. So when I go to the store and I pick up that $6 bag of beef jerky, I think to myself, is it really worth $180 in the future for me to get this right now? But when it comes to beef jerky, the answer is almost always yes. But in all seriousness, that's exactly what I do. I really think about my purchases to the point where I'm overthinking every single one, and this almost always drives me away from making stupid purchases. So with that being said, you might be thinking, 50 years, that's such a long time. You need to live a little. Why are you living like this? Why do you feel obligated to live paycheck to paycheck? Well, I can sum that up in 2 simple words: financial independence. Now, there's a movement out there and it's called the FIRE movement. If you haven't heard of it, I'd highly suggest looking it up, but it stands for financially independent, retired early. And a lot of people out there, they're retiring in their 40s, 30s, and even their late 20s. These people understand that they need to sacrifice. They need to make these sacrifices up front in order to establish a lifestyle that they want to live. And in the future, they reap the benefits from it and can retire early. And that's exactly what I want to be able to do. And so if I have to sacrifice for the next, 10, maybe 20 years, I have no problem doing that, because it's going to put me in a situation where I have the upper leg. I'll never have to worry about my expenses again, and I can live my life without that weight on my shoulders. Now, let's be honest, nobody wants to have to work for their entire life every single day until they're put down into their grave. And you know what? I witnessed something similar to that firsthand with my own father. And that really changed my outlook on life. It really impacted me. And that's one of the main driving factors behind me sharing this message and sharing all of my financial journey on my YouTube channel. But most people say that they're going to retire at 65, and I'm telling you, that doesn't have to be you. That doesn't have to be the normal, and I don't accept that for my own fate. And I think it all boils down to, no matter where you are in life, no matter how old you are, if you feel like you're too late to do some of this stuff, trust me, you're not. I can tell you it's in your own hands and you can change your future.